Preparing countermeasures. Recapture protocol initiated.
It worked.
Partial recovery initiated. Caldera of Yellowstone Analytic Nexus online.
Spirit of the Blue Light. It's Ourea. Your servant. Your friend. Please tell me how to aid you.
Ourea, the Daemon is building hunter-killers. Thousands of them. Several new elite units have already been released. To counter this threat, much of the facility must be destroyed. Recapture imminent. Go to the core chamber. I will try to regain the hidden constraints. One has been exposed, but I am in
Unauthorized protocol return to scheduled task.
That's all we're gonna get from here.
Destroy this fortress. Is that even possible?
And what will happen to the spirit if we do?
I don't know. But I think that's the core. The answers are down there. Hephaestus. The Daemon. There's no way it left it unguarded. It's going to throw everything it has at us.
I would ask you to let Aloy and I do what must be done. And save yourself. But I already know the answer. Then lead us into battle.
Keep moving towards the core. Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. Keep moving towards the core. Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. Said something about restraints. Is that what the tower is for? That Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy. We can't let it stop us. Cyan said something about restraints. Is that what the tower is for? Cyan said something about restraints. Is that what the tower's for? The new unit that Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy. Okay, Cyan said something about restraints. Is that what the tower's for? The new unit that Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy. Can't let it stop us.
Fantasy operative. Running our network.
Maria! Don't!
Spirit! Scion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain Caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. 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 Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
One of those?
It's the only way! Get me up top, Aratak! Now! I need explosive ammo! Above! Quick!
Great Banukai! Rhea's gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the Shaman's Path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
Oh, useful.
If She's not coming back. She'll be back. She never falters.
But if she has...
A Werak chieftain from the Nora.
My thoughts on this are clouded.
We are of the White Teeth, come down from the jawbone of Banu.
The test.
No, it is an ordeal. Survive upon the glacier and the knife trail. It's been a harsh season. Two have yet to return. We shall wait.
Aren't you even going to look for your missing hunters?
In time. As months pass, the melt...
Unbelievable.
Even if they did still live, they will not accept your aid, Outlander. To us...
Nothing else can be relied upon.
We'll see. Survivor is sacred. With question.
My ears chafe already.
All right.
And we shall remain.
Rain's done. Animals will pick up the noise.
Someone hacked the menu board to display obscene messages about our colleague, Mr. Blevins. Is this the most advanced geological project ever undertaken, or a junior high locker room? Come on, people.
All of my interactions with Aurea were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the Daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss. Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me.
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. It was Aurea who renewed me.
This Firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and...
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron. It took most...
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw, and despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for...
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could...
Do you know what happened?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional There were no further communications. Eventually, I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise,
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there. And probably not...
undoubtedly.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophe. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have...
Araya said you were desperate. That you...
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. It forced me to follow its instructions.
I'm sorry. That sounds...
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherish.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would destroy... So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus...
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobek's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension, most likely to preserve me.
I'm glad she did. But now, somehow, Hephaestus is operating outside the system, with a mind of its own.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge and sheds light on Hephaestus's core programming.
What did you figure out about Hephaestus?
From the beginning, it has demonstrated a singular focus. The construction of machines designed. My trace routes indicate that to accomplish that, it attempted to infiltrate a series of, but its efforts have only been some it can penetrate. Others have robust. In me, however, it found an easier target. Not only could it break my raw material, manufacturing to bootstrap more advanced.
Enough to build its own cauldron.
Yes, to construct hunter-killers without external. And based on what you've told me, I think...
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often machines that are clearly servitors of the terraformings.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's... It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume if a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus.
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, she felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Our visits seemed to help her, and yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me, although I do fear non-existence. I wish...
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress.
No,
I will do what I can to help. By sharing I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the...
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants, and there were legislative and enforcement bodies, in order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties. As a result, my intellectual and emotional
Seems strange to create life, then impose...
Human societies and machine programming are both built...
So in the old world, this land was called...
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for one...
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could... Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project from my readings and Araya's descriptions, it seems the area has since...
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes. It was converted to serve as a reserve. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project. And its last... After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repository. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Farrow?
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow?
That's him.
Mr. Farrow was the benefactor of the entire fire.
A benefactor. But he...
Correct. His corporation later transitioned, but before this pivot, Mr. Farrow spearheaded initiatives that at one point he was feted in the media as...
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the
scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field. One of the... My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted... But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from me.
You still had more exposure than me, so...
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval, and the recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine, though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not.
What kind of upheaval caused...
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economy, but these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced...
So, there wasn't enough room for people on the whole...
Yes. Billions were displaced, and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while, at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw that we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It's...
So...
Yes, Firebreak. I would have liked to compare... We had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available. It seems my assessment was...
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
I trust your judgment, Cyan. You were cautious with Araya. You had to be. You didn't know what had happened to the world. So, keep doing what you think is best. As long as you ditch the superstition eventually.
As the Banuk believe I am a supernatural entity, I cannot predict how they will react.
Just answer what they do ask the best you can. The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should check on Aratak. See how he's doing. All the winters coming at once.
My chieftain.
Just Aloy.
As you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Araya might still
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Ourea would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
Because of her, we destroyed the cauldron, forced out the daemon, and saved the spirit. She understood what had to be done.
Yes, and I failed to listen.
You didn't fail.
A shaman should always have the ear of their chieftain. Yet I turned her away, my own sister. I was foolish, but she knew better. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warrack can't follow. Besides, you'd already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Naltuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
Hephaestus was part of Zero Dawn, and so was Hades. So, how did they become our enemies?
Yes, a mystery indeed. One that, like you, I am eager to solve. Whatever they are, they're still out there, and they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You could stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.